Hello, fifth graders. If you are watching this, you are ready for the student companion text. So that's this tiny little text because in Pennsylvania, there are a few standards that are going to be on your PSSA test, Pennsylvania, that are not in the Envision book. So they're right here. So we have to learn these lessons to make sure that we're prepared and we hit all our skills. So we have display and interpret data. We're going to talk about frequency tables. We have to display and interpret data on bar graphs, which shouldn't be new. You should have already learned this before, but it's good to recap and do some work. And then the last one is to display and interpret data in line graphs. So we're going to hit these three topics in this tiny little text. And if you're here, you should have this open and ready to go on page P1. All right. So we have lesson display and interpret data and frequency tables. Make a prediction about which subject listed below will be the favorite of most students in your class. And then ask your classmates which of the four subjects below they like best and record their answers. Was your prediction correct? So unfortunately, since we are self-pacing, I'm not going to have you get up and walk around and actually do the survey. But let's say we make a prediction. And my prediction is math, of course, because I love math. That doesn't mean it has to be your prediction, but write down something. Okay, this guy says, be precise. You can make sure your survey question is clear, complete, and specific. So my survey question is, hey, which subject do you like best? Do you like English, history, math, or science? And maybe we don't call it history, maybe we call it social studies, or maybe we don't call it English, we call it ELA. So make it specific. Your question should be specific. When you're asking people this question, you should be making tallies, okay? Making a chart like this and then just checking off. If they say English, if they say history, math, or science, it's a lot easier than trying to maybe like write down everyone's name and write their responses. You might want to have a list of everyone's names so that you can check it off, but I digress. So let's take a look. Let's say you go through, you ask everyone in your class, and 6 people told you that they like English. Notice that your tallies go 1, 2, 3, 4 across for 5. That way it's easy to count. History or social studies, there were actually 11 people that liked social studies because social studies is fun and you get to go and do fun challenges and fun games and stuff. Math, there were 9, so it was close behind, but not quite enough to beat history. And then science was 4. It's a new year in science. We're not getting through everything. We're not doing all the fun experiments yet, so totally understand. When you finish your tallies and you're asking everyone these questions, then you want to go back and actually give it a number. So I had 6 people that liked English. Again, if I didn't use this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strategy, I would end up having to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and that takes way too long. So this is just 5, 10, 11. 5 plus 4 is 9, and 4. So that's why we use tallies, and that's how you're supposed to use them. Oh, sorry. At the end, I always say to make sure you have all your data points, like if you counted these up. 6 and 4, I like to make groups of 10. So 6 and 4 is 10. 11 would be 21, plus another 9 would be 30. So we have 30 kids in our class. We have everyone here. Very cool. All right. Based on the data in your table, what do you predict would be the least favorite subject in another classroom? Let's say we go over to Mr. Weimer's class or Miss Martin's class. What do you think they would say? Can you predict? Maybe. Yes, I could predict that it's probably going to be science. Maybe they don't like science too. Since they are learning the same topics, might have science as their least favorite. Can you make sure that this is the case? Can you be sure? No. Okay. Other teachers might have different things. Like, for example, if you go upstairs to Mrs. Smith, who is doing awesome, she might be doing more experiments, and kids might be liking science more. So can you be sure that this is the case? You cannot. You can not be sure because I don't know what I want to say, the situations can be different. The variables are not the same. The kids are not the same. Are not the same. All right, so biggest thing on here, solve and share. is when you're collecting data, make sure you are able to organize it into a table. This is called a frequency table. You use tallies, and then your number comes in the last column.